Be careful who you allow into your inner circle, because sometimes by the time you realize what has transpired, it's too late. Around 2015, I opened a recording studio to provide services for independent artists who were looking to get their careers or potential careers off the ground. Inside of my studio, I realized that there were many things that artists needed, so I wanted to be what I call the one-stop shop. So I offered disc manufacturing, I offered beats for sale, and I also offered recording time. So you could come into my spot. If you didn't have a beat, you could buy a beat. You needed a place to record, I would record you. And once the project was mixed and mastered, I was able to press you up professional looking CDs to go out and hit the streets with. And I also offered DVD manufacturing, so a duplication. So I was covering every aspect for artists who was looking for that, the one-stop shop. During this time, I took on an associate. I say that word loosely, yeah. But I didn't know it at the time. This person had their own agenda once they got within my inner circle. That's why I say be careful who you allow into your inner circle. Now this person was slick, very slick. They knew how to maneuver and move around me and those who were inside of my circle. Knew all the right things to say at the right time. Was always, embellishing their accomplishments, and I wasn't able to check them because the guy was from another state. So this guy here was crafty. He knew exactly what he was doing. By the time I woke up and was on to this guy, the damage had already been done. This is what I mean. I end up having to confiscate some of the guy's equipment for his lack of payment for renting area within inside of my studio. See, in the front of my studio, I had a shop where artists could leave their songs, their DVDs to be sold on consignment, and I would give them their money when they came in. This guy saw an opportunity to set up and run his own consignment out of my shop. He was a hustler. He was a city guy, and he knew how to hustle knockoff brands and products. I didn't have a problem with it, okay? It ain't that serious to me. If you can get somebody to buy those Nikes, knockoff Nikes, knockoff purses, that's on you, man. But he was able to do that. He also sold DVDs. During this time, DVDs were, very popular. Different companies were creating them, independent companies. So he was selling knockoff gear and DVDs, but he had to pay me for the space that he was, occupying in my spot. As time went on, he was paying initially, but as time went on, I noticed he started coming up with excuses about being late this month. I didn't sell that much this month, or yeah, I got you. It got to the point I almost felt like I had to run behind this guy for my money. Now keep in mind, just as with all businesses, everyone who's in business has someone that they owe money to. So that's why when, I have respect for businesses when they say that my rent is due on this date, the phone bill is due on this date. I get that because they are beholden to other creditors at the same time. So that's something to keep in mind, if you're going to get into business. So by this guy running into delays with paying me, I couldn't allow that to happen with my creditors. So if I did, my doors would get closed, or, things around my household would come up short. So I was able to cover his shortcomings. But as time went on, that became to be a real problem. So one day I got with the guy and I told him, hey, look here, man, this is how much you owe. And you need to pay this amount. Yeah, I got you. I'm just running a little short this month. You let me catch up next. No. Next month is this month. Next month is this month. This is where the rubber meets the road. You got to handle all your affairs now. Well, I ain't got it. That's what he told me. I said, well, you know what? I hear you, man. And I understand. You've been moving a lot of product, though, but I understand. I don't understand, but for the sake of this conversation, I told him I understood. But it didn't matter because I had already made up my mind. He's got to go. Oh, yeah. He got to go today, not tomorrow. And I told him that. Hey, man, look here. This is how much you owe. You got a vending machine in here. You got gear in here. I don't want the gear. I don't sell knockoff products. And I'm not a salesperson in that capacity. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to come to an agreement. I keep the vending machine. You get all your gear. You got to go. So that's what we came to, that agreement. He gathered all his gear, except for the vending machine, and he was on his way. Now, the point of this story, as I said, is that you have to be careful who you invite into your circle, because a lot of times you would invite people into your circles and not truly know who they are. Now, sometimes you can spend 3 months, 6 months around a person and not know who they are, okay? But you get a better understanding of who they are as time goes on. I had been working with this guy when we were working 9-to-5 jobs. I had been working with him for a couple of years. I knew his shortcomings. I knew some of his proclivities, but I overlooked a lot of that because he brought something to the table that I felt like could be mutually beneficial for both of us. He would bring in customers looking for that type of product, but at the same time, he would be able to help me to offset some of my, costs for operational costs of the business. But it turned out to be that this guy didn't matter who you were. He was going to be who he was today, tomorrow, and the next day. It didn't matter. And so I learned that, okay, you know what? I got to watch out for people like him. So I made a mental note. See what it was? There's 3 type of people that I look out for now. And the 2 main ones are manipulators. Those are the main ones. The manipulator. And the other person is the person who is a fair weather individual. They're the ones who will sit back on the sideline and they will agree with you about anything that you say. And they'll smile along with you the whole time. Always giving you compliments. When there's no need to give compliments. You got to watch out for people like that. Because most of the times they have a hidden agenda. And by the time you wake up to what they're really up to, oftentimes it's too late. They done got you. And a manipulator is a person who will come in and they will play on your emotions. Oh man, they'll pull out the little violins and they'll get to playing them. Oh, I can't pay my rent this month. Oh man, my girlfriend, and she's giving me a hard time. She's looking, we need a new sofa. The other one broke down. The kids are sleeping, on the floor with the mattresses. Man, can you help me out? And you know what I'm talking about? I don't have a problem helping people who truly need help. But when you reach out and ask for something, and then I find out that later on what you were looking for was not really what you was going to do with the monies or whatever it is. Manipulators, or people that you would do things for, and then they come back 3 months, 4 months later, and they come at you with another, hey man, can you help me out with this right there? And you, oh, hold up. Man, I ain't seen you in about 3 months, man. In fact, I haven't seen you since the last time you asked me, could I, help you out with some change, man? Huh? Oh yeah. I'm gonna get that back to you, man. I just, it's been a rough go, man. It's been a rough batch, man. That's why I'm here. I need some help now, dog. Oh no. We can't do that. See, where I come from, my pops told me, son, once you say you're gonna do something, honor what you say you're gonna do and follow through. And that's the creed that I live by as an adult. So I'm sharing that with you, the manipulator and the fair weather individual. You know what I'm saying? Those are the main two, because if you're not careful, they will fly below the radar and make you think that they're cool and they are 100% committed to whatever it is that you're trying to do. But if you really look close behind the scenes, they are really more invested in what they're going to get out of the friendship or the opportunity. So if you're into business, going into business, or thinking about going into business with someone else, make sure you know who you're about to get into business with. Because unfortunately, a lot of times you can save yourself a lot of headaches, fortunately, if you vet people. But unfortunately, if you do not do your due diligence and check the person's personality, their character, and really do your deep dive into who they are, you can do yourself a disservice and end up losing in the long run. My name is G. Lewis, and I just want to pass off this information to the generational X, Ys, and the Zs, as well as the baby boomers who are thinking about getting into business with somebody. Know who you're getting involved with. Make sure that everything that you do is going to be on the up and up, because there are a lot of manipulators out here. There are a lot of opportunists, which is another thing. That's the word I was looking for when I said the fair weather guy. That's the opportunist. They always slipping and sliding and trying to find a way that they can benefit off of somebody else. They will connect themselves to you at the drop of a hat. They'll do it. You look around and you next thing you know, like, where this person come from? Man, yeah, you know me, man. I've been, hanging with the crew for about, 6 months. Yeah, but man, now he in the inner circle. You gotta watch him, bro. You have to watch him. This your man G. Lewis. Until my next video, God bless, take care of yourself, and always take care of one another. Peace.